In this video, we are going to look onto the new watermarking algorithm, how we can able to implement in the FPGA. So this algorithm requires a 2D Hadamard transform, which is implemented using a 1D Hadamard transform. So for that, this is a top module, and these are the input and output ports. So first we'll do the 1D Hadamard transform. To do the 1D Hadamard transform, we'll divide the frames, or we'll divide the image into a subframe of 64 pixels for each. So once we divide and store the 64 pixels in a buffer 64, we'll start the 1D Hadamard transform using this HDMD module. So this HDMD module is explained in the previous video, and once we compute the 1D Hadamard transform, we'll store the coefficients in the buffer 64 of T3 module. Once we store the T3, we'll start finding the address for the watermark. So to find the address for the watermark location after the 2D, what we'll do, we'll first initialize a parameter of row number and the watermark location and the frame width and the bit location. So the row number and the watermark location says which pixel we have to, or which coefficient we have to choose after the 1D transform. So if the row number means in the first row and the 48th coefficient has been selected, on the 48th coefficients we have to select a 6-bit in the mid range. So this 6-bit says the location of the watermark which has to be embedded in the 2D transform. So once our 1D transform is completed, we are going to find the address of the watermark location. So once we find the address in the watermark location, we'll store the address in the respective coefficients. Once we store it, we need to find out where it has to be enabled and where it has to be disabled. It means we are going to embed the watermark in the respective position. For that, we'll generate a WMen signal. So this watermark code, what it will do, if enable is 1, it will embed the watermark. If enable is 0, it will just give the coefficient as it is. It's a simple mux. So we'll move on to the top module. Once a watermark is embedded, the embedded coefficients will be, that means the watermarked coefficients of 2D will be given to the next element of buffer. This buffer will rearrange the coefficients with 8 stage buffers, and this 8 stage will be given to the next 1D Hadamard transform. This is actually the inverse Hadamard transform. Once the inverse Hadamard transform of 1D function completed, we'll store the values in the buffer 64. Once the buffer 64 underscore 2 completely store the 1D inverse Hadamard transform, again from the buffer 64 underscore 2 T6 module, the T5 inverse Hadamard transform module will read the input coefficient. Again it will go for the 2D inverse Hadamard transform. Once the 2D inverse Hadamard transform completed, it will generate a OE output enable signal along with its out underscore address 1. So once it completed, the final values will be present in the X and Y coordinates. We'll look on to the simulation. The behavioral simulation, if you look on it, the values are generated as the sequence as 1, 2, 3. After 132 clock cycle, that means that 133 clock cycle, we'll have the output values. If you look on it, it doesn't have much difference, since we are going to embed only 1 bit out of 64, that too in a random position. It will not affect much of the coefficients. The original image will be retained as it is. So we'll look on to the schematic. So this is a elaborated schematic, and once the synthesis got completed, the synthesized schematic is this. So the utilization of this is 4312 LUTs for the 32 LUT RAMs with 3000 plus flip-flops. So we'll check on to the post synthesized simulation. So once the simulation got completed, we'll compare the post-synthesis and the behavioral simulations. So at 133 clock cycle, if you look on it, the values of post-synthesis simulation and the behavioral simulations are same.